Good morning, children. Hearty welcome to all of you for today's session. Today, I'm going to discuss a new lesson from our supplementary reader. The name of the lesson is A Necklace. It's written by Guy de Maupassant. Guy de Maupassant. What's the spelling of that? See, here it is, children. Guydde, then Maupassant. So, who has written the story Necklace? The Necklace, it's written by Guy, Guydde, Guy de Maupassant. Okay, so first of all, I'll give you a brief description about our writer. The Necklace was written by Guy de Maupassant. He was a famous 19th century French writer. He was popularly remembered for his short stories based on real life situations. He wrote some 300 short stories, 6 novels, 3 travel books, and 1 volume of verse. Okay, so children, let's move ahead with our lesson. See, lesson 7, The Necklace. Matilda is invited to a grand party. She has a beautiful dress but not jewelry. She borrows a necklace from a friend and loses it. What happens then? Okay, so let's read the portion. She was one of those pretty young ladies born as if through an error of destiny into a family of clerks. She had no dowry, no hopes, and no means of becoming known, loved, and married by a man either rich or distinguished, and she allowed herself to marry a petty clerk in the office of the Board of Education. She was simple, but she was unhappy. She suffered incessantly, feeling herself born for all delicacies and luxuries. She suffered from the poverty of her apartment, the shabby walls, and the worn chairs. All these things tortured and angered her. When she seated herself for dinner opposite her husband, who uncovered the tureen with a delighted air, saying, "Oh, the good pot pie! I know nothing better than that," she would think of elegant dinners of shining silver. She thought of the exquisite food served in marvelous dishes. She had neither frocks nor jewels, nothing, and she loved only those things. She had a rich friend, a schoolmate at the convent, who she did not like to visit. She suffered so much when she returned. She wept for whole days from despair and disappointment. One evening, her husband returned elated, bearing in his hand a large envelope. "Here," he said, "here is something for you." Okay, so before moving ahead with the explanation, children, I'll give you the meaning of some new words. So the first one is error. You know what's the meaning of error? Error of destiny. Error means a mistake. Then delicacies. Delicacies means fineness. 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 Then the next word is incessantly. Incessantly means without interruption, continuously. Then the next word, tureen. 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 Tureen means serving bowl. Tureen, a deep covered dish from which soup is served. A deep covered dish from which soup is served. Roughly we can say serving bowls. Then elegant. Elegant means graceful and stylish in appearance. Exquisite, extremely beautiful. Exquisite means extremely beautiful. Then the next word is marvelous. Marvelous means extraordinary. And the last word is elated. See, here it is. Her husband returned elated. Elated means make someone very happy. Make someone very happy. Okay, so let's see the explanation of this page. Matilda Loisel. She was a pretty young lady who was born into a middle class family, into a family of clerks. Her family did not have any means to arrange dowry for her marriage. See, here it is. She had no dowry, no hopes, no means of becoming known, loved, and married by a man either rich or distinguished. So she allowed herself to marry a petty clerk in the office of the Board of Education. She was simple, but she was unhappy. So what kind of a lady was Matilda? Yes, she did not have any other means by which she could befriend a rich man to be loved or married to him. So she had no dowry. Her family did not have any means to arrange dowry for her marriage. She did not have any other means by which she could not befriend a rich man to be loved or married to him. So due to these circumstances, she had to marry a clerk in the office of the Board of Education. And because of this, she was so sad. She was unhappy. Okay, so the next paragraph. She suffered incessantly, feeling herself born for all delicacies and luxuries. She suffered from the poverty of her apartment. So, what is going on there, children? Yes, she used to get angry and was tortured by the condition of her apartment. She suffered incessantly. I told you what's the meaning of incessantly? Continuously. So, the dirty walls and the torn furniture used to irritate her. Okay. The next paragraph. When she seated herself for dinner opposite her husband, who uncovered the tureen with a delighted air, saying, "Oh, the good pot pie." Okay, so what is going on there, children? Yes, she used to think about elegant dinners being served in marvelous dishes. Okay, so she seated herself for dinner opposite her husband, who uncovered the tureen. Tureen means serving bowls with a delighted air. So, what do you mean by that sentence? Is she used to think about elegant dinners being served in marvelous dishes. Then, she loved only those things. What things? Yes, she had neither frocks nor jewels and nothing at all. But she loved those things, jewels and frocks. Then she would think of elegant dinners of shining silver vessels or dishes. She thought of the exquisite food. What do you mean by exquisite? She thought of the lovely food, marvelous food served in marvelous dishes, beautiful dishes. She loved only those things. She had a rich friend, a schoolmate at the convent. She did not like to visit her rich friend. What's the reason, children? Because she used to cry. What's the reason? After meeting her, she used to cry for days together. Because she was a rich lady. Her rich friend, she had a rich friend, a schoolmate at the convent, who did not like to visit. She suffered so much when she returned because her schoolmate was a rich lady. After meeting her, she cried for days. What's the reason? Because of the richness of her schoolmate. One day, her husband came back home from work in a happy mood. He was holding an envelope in his hand. He informed her that the envelope was for her and asked her to open it. She quickly drew out a printed card on which were inscribed these words: "The Minister of Public Instruction and Madame George Ramponneau asked the honor of Mr. and Ma'am Loisel's company Monday evening, January 18, at the minister's residence." Children, if you come to page number 46, there you can see the meaning of some words. M. How is in the word here? M. M and MME. M is an abbreviation for Monsieur, MONSIEUR, and MME, it's an abbreviation for Madam. It's a form of address for a woman in French. Then M dot, it's an abbreviation for Monsieur, Monsieur. What's the pronunciation, children? Monsieur. It's a form of address for a man in French. As I told you, a French writer has written this story. So some words are there from French itself. So M, it's an abbreviation for Monsieur, a form of address for a man in French. MME, it's an abbreviation for madam, form of address for a woman in French. So children, come to page number 46. There you will get the explanation. Okay. So instead of being delighted, as her husband had hoped, she threw the invitation spitefully upon the table, murmuring, "What do you suppose I want with that?" "But my dearie, I thought it would make you happy. You never go out, and this is an occasion, a fine one. Everybody wishes one, and it is very select. Not many are given to employees. You will see the whole official world there." She looked at him with an irritated eye and declared impatiently, "What do you suppose I have to wear to such a thing as that?" He had not thought of that. He stammered, "Why, the dress you wear when we go to the theatre. It seems very pretty to me." He was silent, stupefied in dismay at the sight of his wife weeping. He stammered, "What's the matter? What's the matter?" By a violent effort, she had controlled her vexation and responded in a calm voice, wiping her moist cheeks. "Nothing. Only I have no dress, and consequently I cannot go to this affair. Give your card to some colleague whose wife is better fitted out than I." He was grieved, but answered, "Let us see, Matilda. How much would a suitable costume cost? Something that would serve for other occasions, something very simple." She reflected for some seconds, thinking of a sum that she could ask for without bringing with it an immediate refusal and a frightened exclamation from the economical clerk. Finally, she said in a hesitating voice, "I cannot tell exactly, but it seems to me that 400 francs ought to cover it." Okay, so let's see the explanation, children. Listen. So what did she do with that envelope, children? Yes, she quickly drew out a printed card on which were inscribed these words. So she quickly opened the envelope. So it reads like this: "The Minister of Public Instruction and Madame George Ramponneau asked the honor of EM. EM means Mr. and MME, Mrs. Or we can say Madam. So Mr. and Mrs. Loisel's company, Monday evening, January 18, at the minister's residence. Okay, so it's an invitation. So, delighted. Have you seen the word delighted? Yes, what's the meaning of delighted? Delighted means showing great pleasure. So instead of being delighted, as her husband had hoped, she threw the invitation spitefully upon the table, murmuring, "What do you suppose I want with that?" So what's going on there, children? Yes, what did she do? Yes, instead of being delighted, as her husband had hoped, her husband thought that she would be very happy by seeing this envelope or this invitation. So what did she do instead? Yes, she threw the invitation spitefully. She threw the invitation spitefully. What do you mean by spitefully? SPITE. Spitefully means with hatred. With hatred. So she threw the invitation with hatred upon the table. Then, "But my dearie, I thought it would make you happy. You never go out, and this is an occasion, a fine one. Everybody wishes one, and it is very select. Not many are given to employees. You will see the whole official world there." So her husband, Mr. Loisel, he expected that she would be happy. But what's the condition? Yes, she threw the invitation upon the table with hatred. So he replied that he had thought that she would be happy as she never went out, and this was a rare occasion to which not many employees were invited. Did you get the sentence, children? But my dearie, I thought it would make you happy. You never go out, and this is an occasion, a fine one. Everybody wishes one, and it is very select. Not many are given to employees. You will see the whole official world there. So her husband, Mr. Loisel, he replied that he had thought that she would be happy. She would be happy as she never went out, and this was a rare occasion to which not many employees were invited. He also told her that she would be meeting a lot of people from his office there. She looked at him with an irritated eye and declared impatiently, "What do you suppose I have to wear to such a thing as that?" So what's the condition, children? What's the problem? Yes, Matilda asked him what she could wear to such a grand party. Did you get the question? What do you suppose I have to wear to such a thing as that? So what did she ask, children? Yes, she asked her husband that what could she wear to such a grand party. He had not thought of that. He stammered, "Why, the dress you wear when we go to the theatre. It seems very pretty to me." He was silent, stupefied in dismay at the sight of his wife peeping. He stammered, "What's the matter?" So what happened to her, children? Yes, he asked her about the matter. Who asked her? The husband, Mr. Loisel. He asked her what's the matter. She wiped her tears from her cheeks and replied that she could not be a part of such a grand affair. What's the reason, children? Yes, by a violent effort, she had controlled her vexation. What do you mean by vexation? To be annoyed. That's also given in your textbook, children. Come to page number 46. Vexation means a state of being distressed. Vexation, state of being distressed. Okay, so what happened to her? Yes, she wiped her tears from her wet cheeks and replied calmly that she could not be a part of such a grand affair, and he should give away the card to some other colleague whose wife was better than her. Did you get the sentence, children? By a violent effort, she had controlled her vexation and responded in a calm voice, wiping her moist cheeks. "Nothing. Only I have no dress, and consequently I cannot go to this affair. Give your card to some colleague whose wife is better fitted out than I." So what did she say, children? Yes, she replied calmly that she could not be a part of that grand party, and she asked her husband to give away the card to some other colleague whose wife was better than her. Okay, so he was grieved, but answered, "Let's see, Matilda, how much would a suitable costume cost? Something that would serve for other occasions, something very simple." So he felt very bad for his wife. As he saw she was crying, and asked her the cost of a simple dress that could be worn by her on other occasions as well. So she reflected for some seconds, thinking of a sum that she could ask for without bringing with an immediate refusal and a frightened exclamation from the economical clerk. Finally, she said in a hesitating voice, "I cannot tell exactly, but it seems to me that 400 francs ought to cover it." So what's the reply given by her? Yes, he felt very bad. Mr. Loisel felt very bad for his wife as she saw her crying, and asked her the cost of a simple dress, but it could be useful for other occasions also. So she thought of an amount that would neither be refused by him nor scare the poor clerk. So she said she would be able to manage a dress in 400 francs. Okay, so I cannot tell exactly, but it seems to me that 400 francs ought to cover it. So she said that she would be able to manage a dress in 400 francs. He turned a little pale, for he had saved just this sum to buy a gun that he might be able to join some hunting parties the next summer with some friends who went to shoot larks on Sunday. And nevertheless, he answered, "Very well, I'll give you 400 francs, but try to have a pretty dress." So by hearing this, Mr. Loisel. He was reluctant. What's the reason, children? Because he had saved that much money, that 400 francs, to buy a gun for himself so that he could join the hunting parties next summer along with his friends. But he told his wife that he would give her the money and ask her to buy a good dress. Okay. The day of the ball approached, and Madame Loisel seemed sad, disturbed, anxious. Nevertheless, her dress was nearly ready. Her husband said to her one evening, "What is the matter with you? You have acted strangely for 2-3 days." So, what's going on there, children? Yes. The day of the ball approached. The day of the ball. What do you mean by ball, children? Ball means a party. So, the day was approaching. And Matilda was not fine. Still, she was not fine, even though her dress was almost ready. One day, her husband asked her again and again why she had been acting strangely for the past 2 days. What happened to you? What is the matter with you? You have acted strangely for the last 2-3 days. What happened to you? And she responded, "I am vexed not to have a jewel and nothing to adorn myself with. I shall have such a poverty-stricken look. I would prefer not to go to this party." So what's the problem, children? Again, another problem. Matilda replied that although she had the dress, she did not have any kind of jewelry or anything else to make herself look even more attractive. So she responded like this: "I am vexed not to have a jewel." What do you mean by vexed? I am annoyed. I am annoyed because I have no jewel, nothing to adorn. Adorn means nothing to decorate myself with. I shall have such a poverty-stricken look. Poverty-stricken means poor look. I shall have such a poor look. I would not prefer to go to this party. He replied, "You can wear some natural flowers." Sorry, children. He replied, "You can wear some natural flowers. In this season, they look very chic." S-H-I-C, not S-H, children, C-H-I-C. Chic, not a chic, children, chic. So, what's the meaning of chic? C-H-I-C. Chic means elegant and fashionable. Okay, so what's the reply given by her husband? Her husband replied that she could wear some natural flowers over the dress as they looked very nice and attractive. So what's the reply given by her? She was not convinced. "No," she replied, "there is nothing more humiliating than to have a shabby air in the midst of a rich woman." So what did she reply, children? Yes, she replied that she could not, as it looked really cheap in a party of rich people. So she was not convinced, she was not agreed to wear some natural flowers. So what's the reply? Yes, she replied to her husband that she could wear some natural, she could not wear that flowers because it looked cheap, very cheap. It looked really cheap in a party of rich people. Then her husband cried out, "How stupid we are! Go and find your friend, Madame Forestier, and ask her to lend you her jewels." Then, yes, her husband suggested that she could go to her friend, Madame Forestier, and ask her to lend some jewelry. Then what's the condition of Matilda? She uttered a cry of joy. "It's true, I had not thought of that," she said. So she became very happy as she heard the idea from her husband. So what did she do, children? Yes, the next day she took herself to her friend's house and related her story of distress. Madame Forestier went to her closet, took out a large jewel case, brought it, opened it, and said, "Choose, my dear." So she became very happy. What happened? Because she heard the idea. What's the idea? Yes, she went to Madame Forestier's house the next day and said that she was stressed about the party and the jewelry. So what did she do, children? Yes, the next day she went to her friend's house and related her story of distress. Related means here she told her story of distress to Madame Forestier. And Madame Forestier went to her closet, took out a large jewel case, brought it, opened it, and asked her to choose. Yes, Madame Forestier asked her to choose for herself whatever she wanted. She saw at first some bracelets, then a collar of pearls, then a Venetian cross of gold, jewels of admirable workmanship. She tried the jewels before the glass, hesitated, but could neither decide to take them or nor leave them. Then she asked, "Have you nothing more?" So, what's the condition, children? Yes, she first saw some bracelets, then some pearl collars, and then a Venetian cross of gold and jewels. She was not able to decide what to take and what to leave. "Have you nothing more?" So she tried the jewels before the glass, hesitated, but she could neither decide to take them nor leave them. Then she asked, "Have you nothing more?" So what happened to her, children? What's her condition? She was not able to decide what to take, what to leave. So she asked a Madame Forestier if she have anything else that she could wear. To this, Madame Forestier, what did she do? "Yes, why yes? Look for yourself. I do not know what will please you." So to this, Madame Forestier replied that she could herself take a look and choose something suitable. Suddenly, she discovered in a black satin box a superb necklace of diamonds. Her hands trembled as she took it out. She placed it about her throat against her dress and was ecstatic. Then she asked in a hesitating voice, full of anxiety, "Could you lend me this? Only this?" "Why, yes, certainly." So at last, she saw a superb diamond necklace kept in a black satin box. She took it out with her trembling hands and wore it. She was overjoyed with the necklace. She was so happy with the necklace as it looked very beautiful for her. It was very suitable for her. So she asked her friend whether she could lend her the diamond necklace. Madame Forestier consented to it. She said, "Yes, certainly you can." She fell upon the neck of her friend, embraced her with passion, then went away with the treasure. The day of the ball arrived. Madame Loisel was a great success. She was the prettiest of all, elegant, gracious, smiling, full of joy. All the men noticed her and asked her name and wanted to be presented. So, she fell upon the neck of her friend. What's the reason, children? She fell upon the neck of her friend. Yes, she was so happy. She was very happy and embraced her with passion, then went away with the diamond necklace. The day of the ball arrived. Yes, the day of the ball arrived. The day of the party arrived. Madame Loisel was a great success. So, what's the meaning of that, son, children? Yes, she was appreciated as she was the prettiest, most elegant, and gracious of all. She was very happy and full of joy as all the men were noticing her. She was full of enthusiasm and pleasure as she was very happy with all the attention she had gained. Have you seen the sentence, children? Yes, the day of the ball, the day of the party arrived. Madame Loisel was a great success. What's the reason? She was the prettiest of all the women in that party. She was so elegant, she was so gracious, so beautiful, smiling, full of joy. All the men noticed her, asked her name, and wanted to dance with her. Okay, so she danced with enthusiasm, intoxicated with the pleasure, thinking of nothing but all this admiration, this victory so complete and sweet to her heart. So she was full of enthusiasm and pleasure as she was very happy with all the attention she had gained. She went home towards 4 o'clock in the morning. Her husband had been half asleep in one of the little salons since midnight with 3 other gentlemen whose wives were enjoying themselves very much. So, the couple left the party at 4 o'clock in the morning. Mr. Loisel had already slept at 12 o'clock in one of the halls with the 3 other men whose wives were also enjoying the party. Have you seen the word, children? Salon, S-A-L-O-N. What's the meaning of salon? S-A-L-O-N, not saloon, children. Salon means room. S-A-L-O-N-S, salons, rooms. So, the couple left the party at 4 o'clock in the morning. So, in the meanwhile, Mr. Loisel, he had already slept at 4 o'clock in one of the rooms since midnight, one of the little roamed since midnight with the other three gentlemen whose wives were enjoying themselves very much. He threw around her shoulders the modest wraps they had carried, whose poverty clashed with the elegance of the ball costume. She wished to hurry away in order not to be noticed by the other women who were wrapping themselves in rich furs. So, Mr. Loisel, he threw the wrap around her shoulders as they were about to leave. Did you understand, children? Yes, he threw around her shoulders the modest wraps, the cheap wraps they had carried, whose poverty clashed with the elegance. So, when they were about to leave the party by 4 o'clock, Mr. Loisel threw the wrap around her shoulders. But she did not like that. What's the reason, children? The elegance of the party dress was getting ruined by the wrap, as it was not that pretty, as it was not so expensive, because the other women, they have worn in rich furs, who were wrapping themselves in rich furs. So she did not want the rich ladies who had wrapped themselves in rich furs to see her in a cheap wrap. So hers was a cheap wrap, so she did not like that wrap. So this was because she was portrayed herself as a rich lady by wearing the new dress and the diamond necklace. Understood? Loisel detained her. Wait, said he, I'm going to call a cab. So, in order not to be noticed by the other women who were wrapping themselves in rich furs, she wished to hurry away from that party place. Okay, so she wanted to leave the party quickly. She wanted to leave the party quickly because she did not want the rich ladies who had wrapped themselves in rich furs to see her in a cheap wrap. So this was because she was portrayed herself as a rich lady by wearing the new dress and the diamond necklace. Then Mr. Loisel asked her to wait as he was calling a cab. But she was in a hurry and quickly went down the stairs. What's the reason, children? Because she did not want to be noticed in a cheap wrap. She could not listen and descended the steps rapidly. When they were in the street, they found no carriage, and they began to seek for one, hailing the coachman whom they saw at a distance. So what is going on there, children? Yes, as they got on the street, they were looking for a carriage who could take them home but could not find one. They didn't get a cab, so at last they saw a coachman at a distance and started calling him. But what happened? Yes, the coachman, he did not stop. They walked along toward the river, hopeless and shivering. Finally, they found one of those old carriages that one sees in Paris after nightfall. So they kept walking towards the river and finally found a carriage, the kind one finds in Paris at the nightfall or after nightfall. Finally, they found one of those old carriages that one sees in Paris after nightfall. So it took them as far as their door, and they went rarely up to their apartment. It was all over for her, and on this part he remembered that he would have to be at the office by 10 o'clock. So at last the carriage took them to their home and they both went up. By then they were extremely tired. The enthusiasm and fun for Madame Loisel had ended by then. Then by that time, Mr. Loisel remembered that he had to reach his office by 10 in the morning. So she removed the wraps from her shoulders before the glass for a final view of herself in her glory. Suddenly she uttered a cry. Her necklace was not round her neck. So as she stood in front of the mirror and removed the wrap to see herself one last time in her beautiful dress and necklace, she cried. What happened, children? Because the necklace was missing. Her necklace was missing. It was not on her neck. Loisel, already half undressed, asked, "What's the matter?" She turned towards him excitedly. I no longer have Madame Forestier's necklace." He arose in dismay. "What? How is that? It's not possible." And they looked in the folds of the dress, in the folds of the cloak, in the pockets, everywhere. They could not find it. He asked, "You are sure you still had it when we left the minister's house?" So what happened, children? Yes, what's the condition of Mr. Loisel? Yes, he had already half undressed. Mr. Loisel was already half undressed by then. That means he was almost ready to go to sleep when he asked her the reason for shouting. What's the matter? She turned towards him and said that Madame Forestier's necklace was missing and that it might have fallen somewhere. They searched it in the folds of the dress, in the cloak, in the pockets, but could not find. Then Mr. Loisel asked her if she remembered having it on while they were leaving the minister's house. You are sure you still had it when we left the minister's house? So what's the reply given by Matilda? Yes, I felt it as we came out. Yes, I felt it as we came out. But if you had lost it in the street, we should have heard it fall. It must be in the cab. Yes, it is possible. Did you take the number? No. And you? Did you notice what it was? No. So what is going on there, children? Yes, Mr. Loisel said that she remembered having it on as she felt it while leaving the house of the minister. What's the reply given by Mrs. Loisel? Yes, it's possible. We should have heard it fall. So I felt it as we came out. That means she noticed that it was there when she came out of the minister's house. But if you had lost it in the street, you would have heard it fall because it's diamond. So it must be in the cab. Yes, it's possible. Then, did you take the number? So Mr. Loisel asked, have you noticed the number of the cab? No. And you? Did you notice what it was? No. So they looked at each other utterly cast down. What's the meaning of cast down, children? Sad. They became so sad. They were worried. What's the reason? Yes, they realized that it was lost. So they were let down by what had just happened, and Mr. Loisel dressed up again. See, they looked at each other, utterly cast down. Finally, Loisel dressed himself again. So what did he do, children? Mr. Loisel, he dressed up again to go and look on the tracks where they were walking. I'm going, he said, over the track where we went on foot to see if I can find it. So what did he do, children? Yes, Mr. Loisel, he was on the way on the tracks where they were walking. And he went. She remained in her evening gown, not having the force to go to bed. So what happened to Matilda, children? Yes, she remained at home wearing her evening gown, whereas her husband went out in search of the necklace. Towards 7 o'clock, her husband returned. He had found nothing. So what happened, children? Mr. Loisel returned at around 7 in the morning and announced that he had not found anything. Then he went to the police and to the cab officers and put an advertisement in newspapers offering a reward too. She waited all day in a state of bewilderment before this frightful disaster. Loisel returned in the evening, his face pale. He had discovered nothing. So, Madame Loisel waited for her husband the whole day. When he returned, he announced that he had not been able to find the necklace. So, he said, write your friend that you have broken the clasp of the necklace and that you will have it repaired. That will give us time, she wrote as he dictated. So what did they do next, children? Yes, Mr. Loisel told his wife to write to Madame Forestier that they had given the necklace for repairing. What's the reason? As the hook of the necklace had broken. So, Mr. Loisel asked Matilda to write a letter to Madame Forestier that they have broken the hook of the necklace. Okay, so at the end of the week, they had lost all hope, and Loisel, older by 5 years, declared, we must replace this jewel. So at last, they decided to buy a new one. What's the reason, children? Yes, Mr. Forestier. Yes, they wanted to return Madame Forestier's necklace. They were not able to find the original one. So they started looking for a necklace similar to the one they had lost and found one in a shop in Palais Royal. See, here it is, children. We must replace this jewel. In a shop of the Palais Royal, they found a chaplet of diamonds which seemed to them exactly like the one they had lost. It was valued at 40,000 francs. They could get it for 36,000. So at last, they started looking for a necklace similar to the one that they had lost and found one in a shop at Palais Royal. The price for the necklace was 36,000 francs with a discount of 400 francs. Okay, 4,000 francs. So once again, children, I'm so sorry. The price of the necklace was 36,000 francs with a discount of 4,000 francs. Have you seen the sentence? Yes, here it is. It was valued at 40,000 francs. They could get it for 36. That means they will get a discount. What's the discount? Yes, with a discount of 4,000 francs. When Madame Loisel took back the jewels to Madame Forestier. Oh, no, that. Yes, here it is. Loisel possessed 18,000 francs, which his father had left him. He borrowed the rest. He made ruinous promises, took money from usurers, the whole race of lenders. Then he went to get the new necklace, depositing on the merchant's counter 36,000 francs. So, Mr. Loisel had about 18,000 francs. Which his father had given him, which were given to him by his father before his death. So he borrowed the rest of the money from different money lenders. Have you seen the word, children? U-S-U-R-E-R-S, usurers. What do you mean by usurers? It's given in your textbook. Come to page number 46. Money lenders, especially those who lend money on a high rate of interest. So what did he do, children? Yes, Mr. Loisel, he had about 18,000 francs which were given to him by his father before his death, and he borrowed the rest of the money from different money lenders. At last, they bought the necklace from the shop by paying the full amount. Then, when Madame Loisel took back the jewels to Madame Forestier, the latter said to her in a frigid tone, "You should have returned them to me sooner, for I might have needed them." So what's the meaning of that sentence, children? Yes, when Madame Loisel took the necklace to her friend. What happened there, children? Yes, her friend told her in a roadway, would say it, "You should have returned them to me sooner, because I might have needed them." So her friend told her that she should have returned it earlier, as she too needed it. Did you get the sentence? When Madame Loisel took the necklace to her friend Madame Forestier, her friend told her that she should have returned it earlier, as she too needed it. Okay. Madame Forestier did not open the jewel box as Madame Loisel feared she would. What would she think if she would perceive the substitution? What she should say? Would she take her for a robber? So what's going on there, children? Yes. Her friend, Madame Forestier, did not even open or check the necklace, as Madame Loisel had expected. Madame Loisel had thought that it would be open, or the jewel box would be opened by her friend, Madame Forestier. But her friend did not even open or check the necklace, as Madame Loisel had expected. So Madame Loisel was worried about what would have happened if her friend came to know about the replacement of the necklace. Have you seen that word, children? Substitution. Substitution means replacement. Then what's the meaning of perceive? Perceive means identify. Perceive, identify. Clear? So what should she say? Would she take her for a robber? So she was in a confusion. She was in an agony whether she would open the box or not. Miss Loisel was worried about what would have happened if her friend came to know about the replacement of the necklace. She could blame her to be a robber. Madame Loisel now knew the horrible life of necessity. She did her part, however, completely heroically. It was necessary to pay this frightful debt. She would pay it. She sent away the maid. They changed their lodgings. They rented rooms in an attic. So what is going on there, children? Yes. Madame Loisel realized how horrible life would become. She knew that they would have to pay the loan that they had taken for the necklace at any cost. So they started to reduce their expense and save more. They removed the maid from her job, changed their house, and rented rooms on the roof of a building. Did you get the sentence, children? Yes, Mr. Loisel, she realized the adversity of money. So what did they do, children? Yes, they started to reduce their expenses and save more money. They removed the maid from her job, changed their house, and rented rooms on the roof of a building. Okay. She learned the arduous work of a kitchen. She washed the dishes, she washed the soiled linen, their clothes, dish clothes which she hung on the line to dry. She took down to refuse to the street each morning and brought up the water, stopping at each landing to catch her breath. And she clothed like a woman of the people. She went to the grocers, the butchers, the fruiterers with her basket on her arm, shopping, haggling to the last sou of her miserable money. So what is going on there, children? Yes. She had to learn the tiring and boring work of the kitchen, like washing dishes and cooking food. She would wash clothes, hang them on the line to dry. Then she used to go down to the street each morning to get water. Then with the little money that she had, she used it to dress like a ordinary people and go to the grocery shop, the butcher shop, and the fruit shop with a basket to buy things of daily use. Then what's the condition? Her husband. The husband worked the evenings, putting the books on some merchants in order, and the nights he had did copying at 5 sous a page. And this life lasted for 10 years. At the end of 10 years, they had restored all. So the word, children, sou, S-O-U. What's the meaning of sou? A former French coin of low value. Sou means a former French coin of low value. So what did they do, children? What's the condition of the husband and wife? Yes. With the little money that she had, she used it to dress like ordinary people. She had to go to the grocery shop, the butcher shop, and the fruit shop with a basket to buy the things of daily use. Then the condition of her husband. The husband, he was also in a miserable condition, as he used to work extra time in the evenings and often did copying work at night for a small amount of 5 sous a page. They did this for 10 years and paid back their debt within this period. Did you get the sentence? At the end of 10 years, they had restored all. So, they did this for 10 years and paid back all their debt within this period. Madame Loisel seemed old now. She had become a strong, hard woman and a crude woman of the poor household. Her hair badly dressed, her skirts awry, her husband hands red. She spoke in a loud tone and washed the floors with large pails of water. But sometimes, when her husband was at the office, she would seat herself before the window and think of the evening party at former times, of that ball where she was so beautiful and so flattered. So, what is going on there, children? Yes, by this time, Madame Loisel, she had become a hard-working woman of the poor household. She had started looking old with her hair badly kept, hands red, and she used to speak in a loud voice. Many times, to feel good when her husband used to go to work, she would sit next to the window and think about the party at the minister's house. She used to feel good about how beautiful and elegant she looked that day. She would imagine about how her life would be if she would have not lost the necklace. See the paragraph, children. How would it have been if she had not lost the necklace? Who knows how singular is life and how full of changes, how small a thing will ruin or save one. So what is going on there, children? Yes, she used it to feel good, how beautiful and elegant she looked that day, that means that party. Then she would imagine about how her life would be if she would not have lost the necklace. She used it to think about how unpredictable life could be and how a small step could change a person's life. So she realized her mistakes. She started to realize her mistakes. She wanted to work hard for the last 10 years to clear the debts. So she used it to think about how unpredictable life could be and how a small step could change a person's life. One Sunday, as she was taking a walk in the Champs-Élysées, To ride herself to the chaos of the week, she suddenly perceived a woman walking with a child. It was Madame Forestier, still young, still pretty, still attractive. Madame Loisel was affected. Should she speak to her? Yes, certainly. And now that she had paid, she would tell her all. Why not? She approached her. Good morning, John. Her friend did not recognize her and was astonished to be so familiarly addressed by this common personage. She stammered, But madam, I don't know. You must be mistaken. No, I am Matilda Loisel. Her friend uttered a cry of astonishment. Oh, my poor Matilda, how you have changed. So, what is going on there, children? One Sunday, she was relieving herself to the stress of the week and enjoying a walk along the Champs-Élysées when she suddenly saw a lady walking with a child. The young, pretty, attractive lady was Madame Forestier. Madame Loisel started thinking about whether she should talk to her or not. At last, she decided that as she had given her the necklace back and paid back all the debts, there was no reason for her not to talk to her. So Madame Loisel went to her and said, Good morning, John. Madame Forestier was confused. What's the reason? Because she could not recognize the person, but thought that she was familiar because only her close friends used to call her by that name. Good morning, John. So she realized that it was her close friend. She told her that she might have got the wrong person and she might be looking for someone else. But Madame Loisel introduced herself to her friend, and John Forestier was shocked to see her in such a poor and changed look. What did she do, children? Yes, her friend uttered a cry of astonishment. Then what did she say? Oh, my poor Matilda, how you have changed. So she was shocked to see her in such a poor and changed look. Okay. Yes, I have had some hard days since I saw you, and some miserable ones, all because of you. Because of me. How is that? You recall the diamond necklace that you loaned me to wear to the minister's ball. Yes, very well. Well, I lost it. How is that? Since you returned it to me, I returned another to you exactly like it. And it has taken us 10 years to pay for it. You can understand that it was not easy for us who have nothing, but it is finished and I'm decently content. Madame Forestier stopped short. She said, You say that you bought a diamond necklace to replace mine. Yes, you did not perceive it then. They were just alike. And she smiled with a proud and simple joy. Madame Forestier was touched and took both her hands as she replied, Oh, my poor Matilda, mine were false. They were not worth over 500 francs. So, what is going on there, children? I hope you understood the story. So, listen. Yes, I have had some hard days since I saw you. So, she then replied that she'd have some hard days since they last met. She said that life had been miserable and it was all because of Madame Forestier. Then Madame Forestier asked her, how was she responsible for her bad days? To which Matilda replied that she had lost Forestier's necklace. Because of me. How is that? You recall the diamond necklace that you loaned me to wear the minister's ball? Yes, very well. Yes, well, I lost it. So what is going on there, children? Yes. Madame Forestier asked her, how was she responsible for her bad days? To which Matilda replied to that she had lost Forestier's necklace. To this, Madame Forestier replied that it was not possible because she had returned it to her. But Matilda replied that she had bought a similar necklace and they had been paying the debt for the last 10 years. She also said that they were not that rich to afford such an expensive necklace. Then Matilda added one more thing, that the debt was now over and that she was satisfied with whatever she had. John was surprised and asked Matilda if she bought a diamond necklace just to replace her lost necklace, to which she replied yes. Madame Forestier, she was stunned, stopped short. What's the meaning, children? She was surprised. Madame Forestier stopped short means she was surprised. You say that you bought a diamond necklace to replace mine. Yes. While holding her in her arms, she said that the necklace which she had borrowed from Madame Forestier was a fake necklace. So, At last, have you seen the last sentence? She smiled with a proud and simple joy. So, who smiled with a proud and simple joy? Matilda. Madame Forestier was touched and took both her hands as she replied, "Oh, my poor Matilda, mine were false. They were not worth over 500 francs." So, what is going on there, children? Yes, she said that the necklace which she had borrowed from Madame Forestier, it was a fake necklace. It was false. It was a fake necklace. It was a duplicate one, and that it was not worth more than 500 francs. They were not worth over 500 francs. Okay, children, here is the story. I hope you understood the story. It's very simple, children. You read it again and again. Okay, thank you, children. Have a nice day.